Is it possible for someone to live a completely stress-free life, or is stress just part of being human? Stress is a good emotion and one that can actually drive you to do positive things with good outcomes. It's all about how you deal with and harness it. No, I don't think it's possible. It's just degrees of comfort or, more accurately, degrees away from suffering. They would eventually feel stress from aging, health problems, trying to maintain what they have. They will lose loved ones. Even in the short term, they will have various worries, especially if they have children. Life is pretty much about the spinning of plates in an attempt to ameliorate negative experience. I am fun at parties, honestly. Pretty impossible to have zero stress. But you can definitely have extremely little stress, like non-famous billionaires who retired from running companies and stuff entirely, probably have as close as you can get to no stress as they can just pay to not worry about anything. Depends on how you define stress. If it's cortisol, then it's an essential hormone that has many functions, so you can't do without it. If it's about being positive about challenges in life, then yes, of course it's possible. Suffering is unavoidable. Your level of suffering can sometimes be mitigated, but much just can't be. As long as there are stupid people, there will always be stress. Just drive on the interstate in any major US city, or any of our roadways for that matter. If your body does not produce Fa that disassembles anandamide and other endocannabinoids. My family pretty much unanimously feel like nothing bothers me and can't understand it. I can tell you that stress is very much a part of everyone's life, and with more money is definitely more stress, because if that money goes, you will have another Wall Street tragedy time where people jump from tall buildings. The secret is learning to manage your stress and how to handle the stressors. I generally feel like if I know something needs to be done or sorted out, a difficult chat, or a challenging project, etc., I'll tackle it first before letting it creep up onto me. I like preparing myself so that when things happen I don't need to stress about it. Also realizing that worry accomplishes nothing but draining your energy. I let things go, especially if it's something in the future. You never know what's going to happen. Deal with things as they happen. Life is full of stressors. How you deal with them is the key. Waking up in the morning is stressful for your body. Cortisol gets released in quite high quantities to get you the fuck out of sleeping. Stress is inevitable, and in the right portions it is healthy. I reckon you should have 200-300 millions on your account, but then you'd stress about that money. I guess stress is inherent in humans, as it would help with survival for hundreds of thousands of years. Most stress is manageable. We call something, a feeling, stress. Even if someone had everything they needed, they'd probably still feel stress in some form. Maybe over maintaining what they have or just from the day-to-day challenges of life. It's like we're wired to worry about something, no matter how good things get. It's impossible to live a stress-free life unless you're lobotomized. People generally give stress a negative connotation, seeing stress as a burden. However, there is such a thing as positive stress, or eustress, which is where we get our motivation and other positive feelings from. I think stress is not avoidable for everyone and everything. I remember my dog used to get stressed as well. When he finally relaxes, he breathes a huge sigh of relief. I'm sitting thinking, what's he stressed about? Probably worried about food and loneliness when I go to work and when I come back. Stress, like most emotions, is somewhat relative IMO, in that if you had an extremely sheltered life, your stress threshold would lower over time until tiny things really got to you. A good example is societal progression in the West over the last 300 or so years. If you told a European in the 1700s the standard of living that even the poorest have now, they would probably think, wow, they must never be stressed. And yet we have a mental health epidemic, rising suicide rates, etc. So clearly stress is not directly related to your conditions of living. Stress is relative. What's stressful for one person may not be stressful at all for someone else. In theory, you could live a life where everything you want is given to you, and you'll be shielded from any worries in your life. But then boom, you watch strange movie and TV and all of a sudden you're afraid of shadows. Guess what you'll get? Stress. Stress is unavoidable, but it can be more manageable the less of it you have. No, evolution wants us to experience stress because a stressed out animal is going to do more to innovate and survive. Stress and pain, at their core, are motivators to change something that's not beneficial to our survival. You ever noticed how when you try really hard to get something and get it, maybe a new job for example, you think to yourself, oh man, now I'm set. You'll have nothing to worry about now. Guess what? You're going to be stressed out at work. The same dream job you wanted is inevitably going to be a source of pain. And in all honesty, that's probably going to make you better at your job. There's no escaping it. You will always have a source of stress. My life is incredibly low stress. I can get agitated, but that's fleeting. The thing most likely to introduce consistent stress to my day is coffee. I love the taste, but caffeine makes me feel uneasy about normal life. It adds an undercurrent of discomfort to normality. Otherwise, I just always assume that everything will work out fine. Even in moments that would make others stressed, I don't worry about it. I've always worked for myself from home. I don't have any kids. My only responsibilities are to myself. I don't have anything to worry about.